Hello everybody, and welcome to this top 10 episode. Of course, I know I said this week was going to be Washington DC. We're going to finish off our US adventures. This is just going to be a trial run, but it will still be an official top 10. Now, for those who don't know me, I'm Derek, the show of the wonderful Dell Talks. Don't worry, when I start officially doing these top 10s, there will be a more official background, but hey, we're going old school, right? Anyway, so just a heads up, my experience is a month on the road in America, done some Panama, done Dubai, done some Europe, Austria, and, well, skiing in Austria, should I say, and just haven't been to other places such as Thailand, China, Australia, Russia, and other places. But I have been places, and I can confidently dish out advice to all you newbies or people who are inexperienced, etc. And this is going to be my top 10, so it's not before or after. It's like kind of a bit of both there. Of course, this is no specific order whatsoever. But of course this is a big top 10 nonetheless, and of course I'm happy I will be dishing out more of these advices and more knowledge to share with you guys. Of course we all learn our lessons, and of course lessons were learned, and of course doing things better on the next time is what we aim for. But this is my official top 10 here, so of course there will be, like I said, there will be covering more, like especially with talking about like pre-travel stuff and all that, but this is just an overall top 10. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of your top 10 with me, Derek. Let's get straight to it, again in no official order, but still 10 important facts and information for me to pass on to you. Starting off with number 1, which is devices. Now, devices are at your preference, whether you need them or not, but in my case it is a strong yes. And I suggest taking a smartphone and a tablet, or whatever, as long as you have two that are compatible. So if one device dies, you do exactly what you need to do on the other device without needing the other device, if you know what I'm saying there. And again, making them compatible, getting them unlocked and ready for a local SIM capability, of course. You want to avoid getting roaming fees, and of course you want to have a very good signal just in case the worst was to happen. So you want to have access to data or some form of Wi-Fi, and if you're unsure that if you won't be getting Wi-Fi or not, but again it's down to what your situation is. This is situational dependent, because if you're going to be in a hotel with Wi-Fi, then that's cool, but again if you're out on the go, it's still good to have that data accessibility, and of course multiple devices to do what needs to be done. And that is literally all I'm going to say. Again, unlocking the devices is very simple and easy. You can do it just from your phone itself. Or you could just go into your local phone company and do it that way as well. They can do it for you or teach you how to go through it. And again, the internet is a wonderful place to search and to also help you step by step if you don't want to do that and want to do it from home and you don't know how to do it. But usually it's just a simple text and then a code, and you type that in, and then it grants you basically unlocks the phone. And then again, the good thing is these phones now, newer phones now, have 2 SIM trays for micro SIMs, and you can just have yours in and switch to the other one, unless you got my old phone, which only had 1 working SIM tray, which was annoying. But hey, let's not get to that. But again, and of course, obviously being able to access into your SIM tray with your PIN, also safety PIN works too, just to let you know. So it's no harm in carrying one of those around if you can't find your PIN for your SIM card tray. So that's that. But again, having the access and the data accessibility, whether in places that you're going to be visiting, is very helpful. Number 2, personal research. Personal research is simple. It is what it is. It does what exactly it says on the tin. By that I mean, obviously, you're researching local weather, things to do, what's hot, what's not, and all that. Obviously using TripAdvisor, and of course there's many other ways such as personal friends, recommendations from families and all that if they've been there. And again, it doesn't hurt to Google the heck out of the place you're going to, like literally. Or, read brochures, read lots of this and that, and everything you want. And you'll probably find so many interesting things. And again, this is something that's nothing boring whatsoever. It's actually pretty fun doing that kind of stuff. And I will admit, it's very fun. And I've discovered, like, I did something on New York recently. And honestly, New York City is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to New York, the state of New York. There is so much to do in New York City. Again, it's just... So again, personal research doesn't hurt. But not only that, moving on to number 3, which is the locals. The locals are the real professionals. Again, it's beneficial for them that you're there because, of course, you're providing their local businesses the money. And again, it's working out for everyone in the long run because, you have a wonderful time. If you're being respectful and kind and wonderful, you're going to make new friends too. And again, it could work out for you in the long run, especially if you're going back every year or every 2 years, whatever the scenario, and hopefully you get my point there. But again, the locals will point you in the right direction. If again, language barriers might be a possible scenario, but again, if they could write it down, or if you kind of understand what they're saying, if there is a language barrier, then hopefully there's something that can be sorted out. But again, it does take a bit of confidence too, but there's no harm in asking the locals for recommendations, because we all do it. It's like when we go to a restaurant and we ask what they recommend for to eat kind of thing, or what's the chef's special kind of thing, And again, of course, research, once they've provided that, if it's something new, you can research that again yourself and just double check it, for your own safety and for your own, doubt or whatever you may be having on it. But again, the locals are real professionals and they can be big help. And hey, many new local friends if you're willing to, and again, helping local businesses, especially abroad too, is a big deal to anyone. Number 4, very simple one again. Currency cards and cash is very easy to obtain. Obviously, there's many ways for your local currency office. They can give you cards too. You just deposit what you're going to take and then put it on that. But I suggest having something that's app accessible and easily linked to your bank account, and you can transfer money to and from any time, and also gives you a good rate. Now, I'm gonna just talk about one here very quickly, which is Monzo. For those, it's a very popular thing. I've been using it for just over 2 years now, and of course, I know I've seen a lot of people also have Monzo. Monzo is easy accessible, and of course, it gives you the best local rate too. As far as I was told anyway, and again, it shouldn't really charge you at all for withdrawals in foreign countries or non-UK countries, should I say. And again, it's easy accessible via your app. You can freeze it, you can transfer money to and from, and it's instant. There's no wait in. And again, you can see what you've got on there, and you can see what's coming out too, which is obviously good, because if it doesn't have an app, you can't see, if someone's like, I don't know, if someone is committing fraud on you somehow, and you like go to spend money and you're like, wait, what? It's like, there was money on there, what's going on? So it's good to see that. And again, it does security checks and all that. So obviously after every now and then you got to retype in the PIN, and obviously accept a fee, especially if it's a lot of money. And of course, carrying cash, you want to carry as minimal as possible for like your own protection. Of course, if you lose your cash, you've still got the card there. If you lose the card, you still got a bit of cash to get you going. So whatever the worst case scenario happens. And the good thing is, if you do lose the card, hopefully you still got the device there to cancel, and that's why it's good to have a device too. And you can see the circle I'm going in here with that. But again, Monzo, again, very convenient, very easy, and very accessible via apps. And of course, if you're tech savvy, then it's great. It's great. And of course, it's very simple even if you aren't tech savvy. But there's that, and it's easy to use. And again, with cash, carry what you need. Don't carry too much because you don't want to lose it and then be upset, like saying, "Oh my goodness, I just lost £1,000 or something." So it's best to, you know, just have enough for a day-to-day kind of basis. So there's that. Oh my goodness, I'm like trying not to die. Stay hydrated, folks. And another one, don't overpack. Again, if you're having your bag for long periods of time, this is just more of a common sense kind of thing here. You know, you don't want to be lugging heavy stuff. You want to pack light, but you want to pack reasonable. Obviously packing for the correct weather, and of course research that you do will also see, you know, hopefully you looked into the weather and see that if it was rain season, you know, then obviously you can pack a bit more waterproof side of things, and all that. But again, if it's just a normal standard holiday, then hey, you know, go wear those fancy clothes and all that for as much as you want. And of course, you can still be fancy on a long-term travel. And again, like, you know, if you can pick it up from the other end, like, you know, you've done your research, picked up some local stores and that, and seen those, then you don't have to pack a lot here because, like, I know you can always pick up an extra shirt or pair of jeans somewhere in case of an emergency, smart event, or, oh my goodness, I forgot my swimming costume, or any essentials like bathroom essentials and that you might need. Then hopefully, you know, on the other end, you can get that. So there's that. And again, the research will provide you if there's a store or not to get your local sim or your local like toiletries or, you know, whatever. And of course, like, obviously having the room there for the presents that you might be picking up for people would also help. So, and remember, if you are having your bag on you for long durations, just, you know, it's for your well-being too. So again, just be smart about it. And again, if you can pick up from the other end, then don't worry about it at this end. Just pack the important necessities there. Again, if there's any questions, feel free to ask. Feel free to drop a message and I will get back to you there. Now, the next two are very basic ones. Google Maps being one of them. This is number 6. Google Maps is the most convenient, the most easy, again, to use thing to get you A to B locally. So even if you don't have an idea of your surroundings, use Google Maps or any other local map that you are happy to use. Of course, there's other recommendations, but I'm just using Google Maps as the main base of that. And of course, again, easy to use, convenient, and you could check out places and check out nearby restaurants, nearby amenities, and many other things. And of course, check their opening and closing times and etc. So it gives you the best lowdown locally as well for you to load up. And again, as you can see, why devices come in handy. And of course, maybe we'll give you a local like transportation kind of knowledge too, like of local buses and that. But then again, there's other things which I'm moving on to now, which is number 7, taxi apps, Uber, Lyft. And of course, not just taxi apps as well, but maybe local train apps or whatever transportation is there to use. Again, usually these apps will provide a lowdown of like the cost, times running to and from. Not sure on duration, but again, we've seen Uber and Lyft in action. You know, you type in where you want to go and it just picks you up from where you are. And again, a lot of apps now, you know, price and location, obviously where your location where you're getting picked up from, and then obviously where you're going to, gives you some kind of duration and again how much it's going to cost. Again, there's not just like those kind of apps, there's also you've got like local metro apps, maybe tram apps, whatever. Is going to be there. That's why it's good to do the research on local public transport too. If you are planning on getting around, maybe using transport, or unless you are just renting a car, then that's, you know, whatever the preference is. But again, there are so many apps I've used locally in places. Again, with metro apps, it's given me like times, departures and all that. And how much it's going to cost, and also I believe it did ticket bookings. I can't remember, but again, it depends where you are. It's going to be different, you know. It's not necessarily there might not necessarily be an app. You might just have to go find a number somewhere or that. But again, it's just always good to like know and double check. And of course, you know, you want to have the best options or the best. You know, you want to have the options, and you want to have, you know, if you want to spend more or less, etc. But of course, mainly for my behalf, it's definitely less. But yeah, there's that. Moving on to number 8, going into the tech area again. You want power banks. You want, you know, I kind of want to go say like mid-market power banks, maybe higher, because obviously you want to get your money's worth. And again, power banks are good, obviously, you know, to keep your stuff charged up on the go. Again, especially if you're not accessing plug sockets for a long time, but if you are, then I guess it's not that bad. But it's still good to have one nonetheless on you. Again, the more you might need more than one. You don't, you know, it's all optional again. Of course, having the correct plugs. Again, there's no harms carrying spare cables too. Again, because if one gets damaged, you know, you don't want to have one and struggle to buy another one. And again, obviously, having the correct lead for your phone is also beneficial, because if you get a dodgy one, then it can obviously have its consequences. But again, yeah, so having an official, you can bring those from home, obviously, all the chargers and all that. And again, you want to get the correct like plug socket, whether it's European, US, or other. There's 3-in-1s that you can get, so there's that. Or lots of these plugs now in some places do have like just USB ports too, so that's good. But that's obviously if they do. But hey, the power banks and the correct plugs and chargers is important too if you're needing to charge up your tech. Number 9 is a very simple one too, and a very, very important one, which is safety. That's well-being, and as well as physical safety and all that. Of course, you know, you don't want to be, obviously, you know, if you're planning to, you know, go on nights out and stuff like that, and like, it's good if you're in groups and that, obviously, you know, you want to look out for each other, have someone there to, like, you know, be the safety net and be, you know, keeping an eye out. And again, because like you might be in that place might be safe, but around it might not be, and you don't want worst case scenarios, of course. And again, like even as a solo traveler, like again, you know, you want to be street smart. You want to like not be, I don't know, put yourself in any sort of risk of basically like, you know, flashing your money about and stuff like that. You know, you kind of want to just be careful. You want to be smart. You don't want to be sure of like destinations like where you're going to, if you're taking shortcuts, you know, are they safe and all that kind of stuff. Especially if like you just happen to be like going in the middle of the night, or you know, obviously some ridiculous time in the morning, etc., you know. But again, it's just like I said, be smart and be clever about yourself, and don't be too daft or crazy, or you know, be center of attention anyway, because I know we're all going to stick out anyway as travelers, but hey, you know, it happens. You just got to be, you know, cautious, and obviously, you know, don't purposely, you know, like agitate someone or upset someone or call someone names, of course. So just be respectful in many ways, and again, remain calm in any situations, and just again watch out for scammers. Again, the research will, like, you know, I've seen these things where like locals, you know, have these traps in place for like tourists, where they like the guy follows you around and tells you to go this and this place. So you kind of want to be careful, you know, you don't want to get, you know, lose money for no reason. So it's just obviously doing your research again onto that, and again being smart and being clever, and don't get pulled in through guilt or for anything or whatever the emotional draw is there. Just don't. Just watch yourself and watch out for each other if you're in groups too. And again, of course, staying hydrated and eating plenty on the go as well, because if you're traveling a lot, walking around a lot, you're going to need a lot of energy, and especially if it's hot weather and all that. Of course, making sure you vaccinate, got the correct vaccinations, got the correct medical insurance there to back you up. You know, you want to avoid any like large medical fees if you are in a place that doesn't have free Medcare. You want to have everything in place, you know, correct visas, anything that, and of course, like if carrying your, as well as your medication, you know, just in case you do have that kind of issue. Again, you know, making sure that you've got everything you need, you know, for your own safety, well-being, and again, literally even the small things, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you kind of get where I'm coming from there. Again, you know, it's all about research, organisation, being smart, and again, looking out for each other if you're in groups, no matter what state everyone's in, you know. And moving on to the final thing, again, kind of what I just recommended, what I speak about there, number 10, which is the documents, like talking about like the medical insurances, having the correct insurances, the correct visas, also just having photocopies of that, and everything. And itineraries too, of course, it doesn't hurt to have photocopies of that, and of course leaving the photocopies at home, and also having paper copies on yourself and photocopies on yourself, as well as the official, and then of course having digital access to them too. So there's a lot of that there. Again, it's just simple stuff, but it will save your ass if you know what I'm talking about. But there's that. Again, if there's anything you want to ask, want to know, anything you want me to extend my knowledge on, because I'm trying to get this into you, but while keeping it short and sweet too. Anything you want to know, just drop a message. Again, ask away. I have no problem with asking anyone's questions. I'm just trying to do my best. I don't want to drag it out too long. Again, short and sweet, but still knowledgeable. And knowledge is power, my friend. Knowledge is power. So there's that for you, and that's what I'm going to wrap up on. So I hope you enjoyed. Please look forward to the next top 10. Again, it's a work in progress, so we'll be getting better each time. So take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day, and peace out.